Hey guys, let's continue with this Lunar Lander game of ours. Okay, so starting today, we need to make a few adjustments on the ship. We added a box collider to it, but we need to remove this because we need two separate colliders on the ship. And the reason for this is what we want to do is when the bottom bit of the ship lands on the pad or lands on anything, we are going to assume that the ship is okay and is still in play. And when the top part of the ship hits anything, hits any of the ground or the landing pad or whatever it may be, we are going to assume it's been destroyed. So in other words, if that can only really happen if the ship is like rotated around and hit something. So I think that's a decent check to have. Not perfect, but this is Unity Playground. We're not aiming for perfection here. We are working with what we have. So first things first. Okay, on the spaceship, right click, create two empty objects. I did it once and twice. Top one, call it upper body, and second one, lower body. And now we are going to add colliders to both of these. You can select both at once and search for box collider 2D. Okay, so let's adjust the top one. For some reason I can't see my collider. I just make it a bit bigger, so I'm gonna change offset. Oh, okay, there we go. So X, I'm changing it to cover the width, and the height I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. Then move it up a bit. Just scaling and adjusting. Okay, I think that's fine. Lower body, we'll do the same thing. Adjust X. And then just lower it a bit. That's using the offset to lower. Offset Y position. And let's see. That looks good, I think. Okay. Now, let's see if our collisions are still working. So if I press space, it still lands. Okay, that's fine. So now we are going to call the lower bit, and this might be a bit confusing. The upper body we are just going to leave it untagged, but the lower part of the body, lower body, we are going to tag it as player. And the reason for this is our landing pad, we are going to check for collisions with player. Okay, and the top part of the body is just going to be used for destruction, so we can leave it untagged. And let's just adjust the spaceship. What we need to do is add component and add a destroy action. Destroy action target, that will be this object, and death effect. Let's just click on that. If you missed that, sorry, just click on a little circle here. Click on assets, search for assets. P underscore explosion. Okay, leave that as is. And now our collider is on the upper body. So add component here and search for condition collision. And list of gameplay actions, just click on add destroy action. And okay, so it's created as destroy action here, but we actually want to use the destroy action that we added onto the spaceship, and that's the parent object. So just remove this one and click on the little circle, and you'll see spaceship blue should show up. Just double click on that, and that should be fine. So now let's test this out quickly. So okay, you see we're landing fine. Now if I rotate, it should destroy. Okay, brilliant. That is exactly what I want. Let's just test it against the landing pad quickly. Okay, a bit hard to control there. Okay, so our landing pad doesn't have a collider on it. Let's just add a collider. Box collider 2D. If you click auto tiling, it just resizes it automatically. So that's good. Just test that again quickly. Okay, so we should be able to land on this thing nicely. Okay, looks good. Good. Now if I take off and rotate around, boom. Okay, good. That is working well. Okay, I want to add the user interface in quickly. So let's click on Assets, Prefabs, User Interface, and drag it up to the hierarchy. The reason I want to add it now is because on the landing pad, when the player collides with it, and that's the bottom bit of the ship, when he collides with it, we are going to assume that the player has won the game, and the user interface has a script that displays that message. So with the landing pad selected, let's add component, condition collision, and on condition collision, click use custom actions and click on the plus sign and click and drag user interface onto this slot over here. Now on the right hand side where it says no function, click on that. On UI script, you want game 1. Okay, let's test that out. Oh, oops. Yes, Control S. Okay, so press play. Good. And if we crash into it, good. Okay, so do you see how easy that was? We are like 90% of the way there already. The basic functionality is done in moving the spaceship around. If the top part collides with anything, it gets destroyed, and if the bottom part collides with the landing pad, then we have a game over, or we've won the game. You know, all that's left is just to add in some decorations. Okay, so we will continue with that in the next lesson. Enjoy. You know what, maybe you guys can actually just try messing around, adding some objects in. You have a look at the example game that comes with Unity Playground. So if you click on examples, Landar, and open that up, you can get some ideas. So yeah, they've just added some rocks in and added polygon colliders to it. So yeah, mess around with that, add in a background, and I'm sure you guys can actually do this. If you followed my previous tutorials, you should be able to do this. But if you get stuck with anything, I will be back with the final installment of this very soon. Okay, till next time, enjoy.